Yo, what's going on, Team Tweedy? I hope you're all super well. Welcome to episode 36 of Hashtag Ask Tweedy, the football show where you send in your football related questions down in the comments, put them down there, I whack them on the Word document, and we slowly get through them. 3, maybe 4 questions an episode, it depends on what they are. But basically you guys can sit down and listen to this while you do stuff. You don't necessarily have to watch the video. But there's some important information that we get through. If you didn't see Tuesday's episode of this, we spoke about what it was like being at an international academy when I was with a La Liga club. If you want to watch that one, link will be up in one of these corners. Go give that a watch and then come back to this one. So, this one's pretty good as well. I lined up a few interesting questions and a few topics that I definitely want to talk about. I need to get my slippers first because my feet getting a little bit cold. You know how it is, it's England. Heading back to Australia Thursday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. Wow, that's insane. So, let's start off with the first question. How do I go about seeking a mentor and is it pricey? So I think I've told you guys the story of how I met my mentor. Basically, my dad went to go to a physio appointment. He saw a guy training some kids at the park and he said to him, do you do one-on-one sessions? He said yes. We linked up and we've been working with each other ever since. Now, that was very, very lucky. We were looking for a one-on-one coach and it just happened to be there. It's almost like it was meant to be. Is it pricey? I'd say yes, depending, it always depends. My mentor was pretty pricey, but I knew what I was getting was so valuable that I was happy to pay it. The knowledge and everything that I've gained from him is just, it's incredible. It's really opened up my eyes to football, especially analysing games, finding benefits in different things, which we'll get into later in the episode. But look, if you go with someone who's not as good, it will probably be cheaper. It's like with anything. If you get the cheap milk, it's not going to taste as good as the expensive milk. You need to think about that, but then you need to think about what you can really afford. So it goes into that again. How do I go about seeking a mentor? I don't know. See, with my mentor is what I call him. And a lot of people seem to get mentor and agent mixed up. My mentor just happened to have an opportunity for me in Spain. That was never really the reason we worked with him. He was my mentor to guide me through football, teach me things, and he 100% did that. So that's what a mentor really is. It's not someone who goes out and puts you in clubs. That's an agent, completely different things. Finding a mentor can be difficult. I'm thinking about doing it in the future. I'm not sure. I need to think about how much time I have. After I release this program, the training program, I may open some slots up for people. So if you're interested in that, keep your eyes peeled in the future. I really think that analysing your games with somebody who knows more is so valuable, and that's where I really learnt a lot. When I started doing that, I went from a Division 2 club in New South Wales to a Division 1 club to a professional under 21s team as a reserve player. So I think it's not right to not do that part of the game, and I think a lot of players miss out on that. So finding someone can be difficult. There are people out there if you search online, but finding someone who actually knows what they're talking about can be difficult. I've had a ton of one-on-one coaches, again, different to mentor slightly, who would teach me, and they teach me stupid things. Like, there's a lot of things I don't agree with that they would get me doing. I'm like, well, why am I doing this? For example, running through ladders and agility work and stuff like that when I'm 18 years old. I never did it with anyone then, but even then, there's a lot better things that you can do to work agility than running through ladders. I want to get into this in the future. I want to talk about it now, but basically when you run through ladders, your brain is just remembering a pattern. It's not actually agility. It's like if Messi's running at you, you're not going to run through the ladders. You need to be able to turn and react to what is coming at you. So it's completely different. Ladders, they're okay, but there's things like that where people put in things I don't necessarily agree with, and I don't want to work with people like that. So I don't know, I might offer it in the future, and if you're that keen, send me an email, sheldon@tweedyfootball.com.au, and yeah, I don't know, difficult to find one on your own. Question number 2. Is there a baseline required for touches per day in order to improve? Is it perhaps difficult to Is it perhaps difficult to quantify because of the different types of touches, e.g. 250 juggles versus toe taps? Now, I read this question and I immediately thought of the 10,000 hour rule. So basically going to change this question into the 10,000 hour rule and whether I believe in it. So this person is asking, how many touches a day do you need to improve? And it goes to the 10,000, oh my goodness, I can't talk. The 10,000 hour rule. And the reason I say that is because, like you said, e.g. 250 juggles versus toe taps. The 10,000 hour rule is basically 10,000 hours to perfect your craft at something. Now, in football, it's the most complex game in the world, in my opinion, that you would have to spend 10,000 hours doing an inside foot pass, 10,000 hours performing a laser strike, 10,000 hours performing juggling, 10,000 hours at analysing games, 10,000 hours at this. It's not just 10,000 hours at football and, whoa, there we go. So I think, look, the 10,000 hour rule, it's obviously not real because you don't get to the 10,000 hour point and go, okay, now I'm immediately Messi. It's kind of a myth, I think, but there's some truth to it because obviously if you put in time, you're going to improve. That's just facts. But look, you can't put something on that. You have to be practicing every part of your game. And for example, for me, my right foot shot, well, actually I'll say this. Probably 2 years ago, before I had surgery on my left foot, I felt more confident shooting on my left than my right. And I'm originally right-footed. Since that surgery, I'm now better on my right foot, of course, and my left foot has slacked off a little bit. So for me, I need to now have more touches on my left foot, practicing my left foot shots. So you can't, it's such a difficult question. There's no required touches. It's like, it's good to set goals. I think that's important. Like, some people do a certain amount of juggles per day. There's one thing I did at home, which I'll be doing when I get back to Australia, which is juggling against the wall. And I aim to get 100 every single day. I've told you this story before where my dad was on the stairs and he watched me and I couldn't get to 100. It took me like an hour or something. And I finally got it and went to bed. But I think I got like 3 weeks there where every day I was at it. And I wouldn't just have 100 touches. It would be, because I wouldn't get it first time every go, I'd be practicing more and more and more. So that for that hour, I probably had, I don't know, 700 touches, who knows. But yeah, don't try and go, okay, I'm gonna go 250 of this, 250 of that, 10 toe taps. It just doesn't make sense, and that's what makes training boring. What I'm trying to do with my training program is make it so that it's always a challenge. So if you're doing a passing drill, like you saw in like you saw in the most recent videos with Jay, we were passing against each other 10 meters away, and if you messed up, the other person got a point. Imagine if we just did that and we stood 10 meters away and we just passed. All right, wait, Jay, we're gonna do 100 reps of this. Cool. It's not fun. There's no pressure. It's not like football. In football, the reason players mess up is because there's pressure. If there's no pressure, you're not going to mess up. So you need to create that environment for yourself. There's just so many benefits in it. So yeah, I can't tell you how many touches you need per day. Try and set some goals, whether it's juggling, whether it's passing, whatever your weaknesses are. Third and final question. I love this one. I'm currently in a slump of form since returning from injury. Got any tips? What do you do when you're struggling? So returning from an injury can be difficult. I found when I came back from an injury, after being out for 9 months, I think it was, I felt like a better player simply because in the off time, you know what I did? All I did was game analysis. You can't touch a ball, and that's just unlucky. You need to face that reality. So how did I face that reality? This episode is ridiculous. I need English speech lessons. I wrote 100 benefits of being injured. And I didn't only needed to write 100 because I actually wanted some time off. Before that, I had a season of playing football throughout the whole year, and then immediately went into the Sydney FC professional youth league environment, and then from there immediately into playing for Manly United again, and then from there immediately into playing with Western Sydney Wanderers, training with Western Sydney Wanderers youth team, And then from there, straight into the Manly United. I played about 5 weeks and then got injured. So that's what, like 2 years and a little bit of constant training, constant games, and very intense training. Not just easy training, this was intense stuff. So for me to get that injury, I only needed to write 100 benefits because I was kind of like, well, I need some time off. I'm happy to just relax. And yeah, so that's how I got past the benefit. Past the initial slump of, oh my God, I'm injured. And then from there, basically, you need to do what you can. Game analysis, go to watch games. I don't know, that game analysis is the most simple thing you can do. Analyze your old games. I did a lot of work with my mentor because I didn't have any footage from myself. We studied Xavi, Iniesta, a little bit of Messi, and players that I looked up to. So that's what I did. And then when I came back from injury, look, I'm going to tell you how I deal with a slump of form regardless of the injury. If I feel like I'm underperforming, I go to youtube.com like this, like I'm doing right now, and I type in Sheldon Tweedy highlights. And I click my video of the 2017 highlights. I put it on, you guys can hear the music, and I sit here and I just watch it. And I watch ability to finish chances. So I see this, I see myself take a touch, and I put a top corner. And I'm like, wow, that's me. That is me performing this like amazing goal. Now I'm looking at it again, and I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this exact point, and it was really good. The movement I did, now I touched it with the outside of my foot, and it was really smart how I did that because nobody knew where the ball was going to go. This one, I remember faking the shot and then putting it over the goalkeeper into the back of the net, and I bagged out my mate because he was marking me and I got past him. This one, I knew exactly what was going on. There was a player behind me. I bounced it over his foot and then took a strike across the goalkeeper into the top corner. So little things like that, and this is why a highlights video is important, not only to send to people, but to sit here and go, I did that, and almost think why you're doing those things, because in a highlights video, it's literally all your best moments, and you need to sit there. Like, I can sit here all day and go, I remember exactly why I did what I did there. I did that because I did this. We could go through the whole thing, but it just brings confidence to you. I'm feeling really good now. I'm going to the park pretty soon, and I'm feeling hyped because I'm seeing all these little things, like that touch over the player. I remembered why I did that. I checked my shoulder. I saw what was behind me. I had the perfect touch and the perfect strike. So if you're dealing, if you're dealing with a slump of form, you need a highlights video. I think you look at not players, but boxers like Mayweather. Who else have I spoken about in the past? Mayweather is the one that I know the best. Who he thinks he's the best boxer in the world, and why shouldn't he? He's 50-0 or something, 49-0. He has no reason not to, but his confidence is ridiculous. He tells everyone he's the best, and you can take that as cockiness, you can take it as being arrogant, whatever. But look, he's performing, and if that's what helps him perform, so be it. Ronaldo as well, he thinks he's the best player in the world, and to himself, that's what helps him perform. So right now I'm thinking, well, I'm probably one of the best players, not going around, but I think I'm a very, very good player. That's what I would say. And now I go out and I smash a session. So you might watch it before your training session, you might watch it before your game. If you had a bad game, you might watch it after your game. Little things like that. So that's what I would say to you. If you don't have a highlights video, I don't know, I can't help you. Like, I think if you're not filming your games, that's like it. You need to be filming your games. If you're not, get to it, make a highlights video. This helps a massive ton. Like, I probably watched this 20 times, and every time I watch it, I'm like, wow, that goal is just insane. I can't believe I did that. So, Team Tweedy is going to end today's episode of #AskTweedy. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button below. It helps me out an absolute ton. Subscribe if you're around here, join the #AskTweedy family, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.
Listen.